vanish. Fray up me ducks. You are the Cheap Shot Nation, and this is Quick Shot Reviews. I am your host, Luke, and this is a New York Yankees hoodie. Don't know why that's significant, because it's not, because obviously lockdown has been a real thing. COVID-19 pandemic is still sweeping across the world, but the cinemas are back open, which means that we can go and continue watching movies. The only problem is that movies have all been delayed, the new ones, so they're re-showing old movies, which has been an absolute treat over the last couple of weeks. I've seen Jurassic Park, I've seen Reservoir Dogs, watched Jurassic Park 2 on Netflix and realised actually, my defence of that film is probably completely wrong, but watch the review later. We can get around to that. Last Action Hero as well. All the classics coming out. Well, some classics. Anyway, we saw Jurassic Park, the original 1993 version, nearly 30 years old, in the cinema. New, so 4K upgrade. The sound was great in most parts. Some of the dialogue was a little bit off, but it's a near 30-year-old film. I can forgive it. Point is, Jurassic Park is still a fantastic movie, and that is what this review is about today. So Jurassic Park was released in 1993 on June the 11th. I remember going to see this film in the exact cinema that I saw the film again a couple of weeks ago, back in 1993, and being in absolute awe of the film then. It has aged beautifully. There's a couple of CGI bits that aren't great, but bearing in mind 1993, most of everything was physical, practical effects. It holds up. It's a brilliant film. It's got the right amount of build-up, it's got the right amount of tension, it's got a great payoff at the end, and it's just a brilliant film. Obviously it did really well, so that bore a sequel, and the word bore really does come into mind on this one. I actually really liked the sequel up until I watched it the other day. It has its moments, but mostly it just fails to be Jurassic Park. And honestly, you're going to compare it to that regardless of how you go into that film, but that's a separate review. Jurassic Park, 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's universally loved, and it's still around today with the Jurassic World series, the newest one, the latest one coming out later this year, Jurassic World Dominion, which I know the word Dominion quite well because that may or may not be my new wrestling stable, but that's insider knowledge between you and me. We're talking about films today. It's directed by Steven Spielberg, of course, the master, and the book obviously was written by Michael Crichton, and the script was penned by Michael Crichton, partly David Coep and Scotch Marmo. That is a wicked name, isn't it? So the film follows two dinosaur experts as they're invited to an island by John Hammond, the eccentric millionaire developer. New kind of attraction. They are invited there to sign it off and say yes, it's fine for public consumption. Obviously most people have seen this film. You know what happens at the end, but I'm not going to spoil it just in case you haven't. And if you haven't seen it, go and find it and watch it. It's on Netflix. Go and watch this film. It is a masterpiece. And along the way they meet the eccentric John Hammond, obviously the guy who's taken genetics to a new level, or you should say a new low, bringing back dinosaurs from extinction. It brings the question, should you play around with life? Well, the answer is, to me, no, you shouldn't do it, because as the film keeps telling you, life will find a way, and karma can be a bit of a knob when you want it to be, or don't want it to be, because that's just the way the world is. So they meet his two grandchildren, Lex and Tim, and they're followed around by a blood-sucking lawyer representing the investors. I love that, the blood-sucking lawyer. The only one on my side is the blood-sucking lawyer. Love that line, brilliant. Got the experts there, like, no, you shouldn't do this. And Dr. Ian Malcolm, the rock star, as it were, is the one that subscribes to KI theory. And see, if I drop this little bit of water on your hand, which way do you think it's going to go? I love doing Jeff Goldblum impressions, as you can tell, and he's just a fantastic actor, really, really good. So here's the scientist that isn't the sort of dinosaur scientist. He subscribes to mathematical theories and whether things should or shouldn't happen. And he's not happy with the way the park has been created, and it turns out that none of them will be by the end. But it's a ride still, it's still fantastic. The child actors are still brilliant. They haven't been in anything else really since this film. I think both of them have not sort of pursued the acting career, so a bit of a shame, because they're both very, very good when child actors could actually act and put across a show. So we've got Dr. Alan Grant, played by Sam Neill, expertly by Sam Neill. You get a feel for his character right from the off, as he's talking about the velociraptor that they find underground, and the kids, and it's like got the little claw and flashes at you here and here, spilling your intestines. Brilliant. Dr. Ellie Sattler is the love interest, played by Laura Dern, again expertly played, and one of the before, like, obviously Ellen Ripley was one of the big female protagonists, and I would argue that Dr. Ellie Sattler was another one. She was not being told what to do. She would stay behind. She was fighting the velociraptors. She was running through the woods, trying to save people, and she's just a kick-ass protagonist, female protagonist, strong female role model there for you. John Hammond is played by the late great Richard Attenborough. Dr. Ian Malcolm, played by Jeff Goldblum, and then we've got Samuel L. Jackson in here as well, who plays Arnold. Doesn't have a big part, but again, it's only lines that Samuel L. Jackson can put across. Wayne Knight plays Dennis Nedry, who is the fat slob programmer that sits in his chair. He's like, dancing, we got dancing here. I could just quote this film all day, but it is quick shot review, so I've got to try and keep it down to a minimum. We've got Joseph Mazzello, who plays Tim, Ariana Richards, who plays Lex, and Rob Peck plays Rupert. I think, yeah, it's Rupert Murdoch, not Robert Murdoch. I think it's corrected my spelling, even though I hadn't misspelled it. Yeah, great film. All these people, all this cast. It's a very small cast considering how big the film is, and they play it really well, and it's really, really fun. And like I say, it's got the right amount of tension, the right amount of funny, the right amount of everything, and it's just really such a good film to go and watch. That you can watch it with your kids. It is kind of scary in some bits, so watch out for that. But if they like dinosaurs, then this one is a definite. I would say probably no younger than about 6, I think, for this one. But it is a PG, so there you go. Anyway, I'm going to give this film a T-Rex out of a blood-sucking lawyer, because when you've got to go, you've got to go. And just great film, go and see it, get it on Netflix, buy it on DVD, get the 4K release, do whatever you can to see this film if you've not seen it yet. If you weren't born around that time, get this film, watch it. It is fantastic. It'll probably be on the TV around Christmas time, because it usually is, and it's great. Absolutely fantastic film. Watch it. Anyway, I've been Luke from Quick Shot Reviews, and you are the Cheap Shot Nation, and I will see you next time for more Quick Shot Reviews. Thanks very much for watching, and goodbye.
Hiya.